official line from the federal government this morning is that it doesn't confirm or deny operational matters, but broadly supports the action by the United States.
On board one of the US subs that sank an Iranian warship this week was 3 Australian sailors. What do we know about what these Australian sailors were doing on board this submarine?
Basically, as part of the AUKUS arrangement, in order to get our Navy personnel skilled up, and also the people who are going to do the maintenance and the sort of things work on the submarines when Australia finally gets our own nuclear-powered submarines. For the last couple of years, they've been going through the American Naval Nuclear Power School, so training how to work on these boats, and then actually being embedded in the crews. We've also had a whole lot of naval personnel and other people like welders and engineers going to Pearl Harbor and working on learning how to do the maintenance of these submarines, which is then obviously happening at the bases in WA as well when the visiting submarines come in. So they were there as part of the AUKUS still.
Is there any possibility that the Albanese government were not informed that the 3 sailors were involved until days after the fact? Or is that giving them maybe a benefit of the doubt they don't deserve?
I mean, I think it's probably likely that they wouldn't have known exactly where they were, but you would think, given that that there are submariners on these submarines, that they would have had to have thought that it was at least a possibility.
This year's National Day of Action was led by WA Police. They work in collaboration with police across all states and territories, and New Zealand Police as well. Each year they kind of focus on a specific outlaw motorcycle gang. This year it was the Comancheros, but they have warned to all other outlaw motorcycle gangs, it could be you next. We're looking at you. Be warned. The exact same thing could be happening to you tomorrow. And
certainly police have shared vision today of a Comanchero bikie who has been arrested pretty forcibly.
Australian and New Zealand police raided several clubhouses, properties, homes and vehicles, and arrested 56 gang members and their associates with 168 offences. The charges relate to drug, firearm, cash and motor vehicles. And of the 168 charges, 14 were laid in Western Australia.
The cause of death of Canadian backpacker Piper James on Queensland's K'gari Island in January was today revealed by the coroner. The 19-year-old had been working on K'gari, which used to be known as Fraser Island, on January 19 when she told her friends that she was going for an early morning swim at 5 a.m. Tragically, her body was later found on one of the island's popular tourist beaches by a passing four-wheel drive motorist an hour later, surrounded by a pack of dingoes. An initial autopsy of Piper's body proved inconclusive, revealing pre-mortem dingo bites that were not deemed to be immediately fatal and extensive post-mortem bites by the wild dogs. Now, nearly 2 months later, Piper's family finally knows the truth, with the coroner revealing the cause of death was drowning as a consequence of the dingo attack. Forcing their prey into the ocean is actually a common hunting tactic of the dingoes on K'gari, which is an image Piper's parents described as heartbreaking after receiving the coroner's report. Authorities managed to track down 8 of the 10 dingoes involved in the attack and euthanised them earlier this year. In the wake of the tragedy, Piper's father, Todd, has called on the Queensland government to introduce stronger training for island staff, mandatory carrying of dingo sticks, and even a ban on children under 13 visiting the island.